All right, guys, we're back here. Jake Ellenbogen live. My guest, Jets linebacker Blake Cashman. How we doing, Blake? And thanks for coming on, my man.
No, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure, and I'm doing great. Just enjoying my off season, spending free time out here in Arizona, training, golfing, and enjoying a new city.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. I'm actually on the East Coast, and I've been stuck here, so I don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
I'm in, well, no, you guys technically play in New Jersey. So you're the New York Jets, but you play in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that, but I always found that kind of bizarre. Um,
Hey,
so
it's for business and tax purposes. We all
yeah,
know that.
I hear you. I hear you. So, let's because last time I talked to you, I believe it was with my co-host Lexus Kraft on the Downtown Rams podcast, and you had just blown up the combine, like absolutely blown it up. And everyone was talking about you. You were my number one linebacker in that draft. I think a lot of teams missed out on you. I'm just saying. So basically, like, go through your career. Let's catch the audience up a little bit on what you've been doing. You've been through injuries. We do know that, but here you are, you're ready, looking at a potential starting role with the Jets this year. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it starting at the combine. I did really well for myself, and I think that definitely was a big reason why I got drafted. But at the end of the day, every player, as overwhelming and frustrating as the draft process can be, knows that, it doesn't matter where you start with a team. It matters, how you finish at the end of training camp and if you're on the roster come week one of the season. But from day one, when I walked in the building with the Jets, it was, a big growing and learning experience. You're a rookie, you're trying to figure it all out. And going into training camp into the season, my expectation was, hey, I'm a rookie linebacker. I still have so much more to improve in my game and to figure out at an NFL level. So I knew week one I was going to be, a third down linebacker and be playing heavily on special teams. And that's exactly what happened until our star linebacker, CJ Mosley, got hurt. I think it was either in the fourth quarter or towards the end of the third quarter against Buffalo. And I got thrown into the fire and had to go out there and play. And then after that, I think I ended up starting the next 6 or 7 games. And as a rookie, that was a lot to take in, but it was a blessing, very exciting, just because that experience is so valuable. And that's probably, one of the biggest things I've learned so far going into year 3 in the NFL is experience is the most important thing. It doesn't matter how talented you are as a player, how athletic or strong you are as a player. It's experience. That's the most valuable thing. And through those games I was starting, I was playing a lot. I felt like my arrow was trending up. I was improving week to week. And unfortunately, I think it was after the Jacksonville game, about week 8 of the season, I ended up breaking my shoulder and I got placed in IR and had to have surgery. And so I spent the remainder of the season and the off season battling through that, getting stronger and just recovering from my injury. And I made it a mission knowing that I would have an opportunity to start in year 2. And I was working my tail off through a COVID off season, which already provided a lot of challenges. But I made it work. I work hard, and as a person, as a competitor, you got to just find ways to keep yourself in shape and continue to improve your game. And I came into training camp already having a great understanding of our defensive system. I knew how the NFL operated. I knew how the Jets operate in terms of just our practice schedule and whatnot. So I felt really confident going to training camp, and I found myself week 1 of last year starting against Buffalo, and I was ecstatic. I felt like it was a great opportunity for me. I finally was healthy. In my opinion, I came in the best shape of my life. I was ready to rock and show, the NFL and all the Jets fans what I'm capable of doing. And the first play of the game, I'm out there on punt before I even take the first series of defensive snaps. I get my ankle stepped on, leg twisted out, and bang, pop my groin. I'm out 5 weeks. I recovered from that. 2 weeks later, same leg, I pull my hamstring. And basically after that, my season was shut down and I remained on IR. And, not only losing, but going through 2 soft tissue injuries, really 3 soft tissue injuries in 1 year, which is something I never experienced before. Made it a very frustrating, challenging year. But I'm finally healthy now. I felt like I've had a productive offseason so far. And like you said, I'll have a great opportunity to be starting this year alongside CJ, who, playing with a great player like that, a Pro Bowl caliber player, only makes you better. So looking forward to, starting OTAs and then getting into training camp, learning the new defensive systems that we're going to be having. And, hopefully week 1, I'm out there starting at inside linebacker.
That's the hope, man. I hope to see that number 53, because I was watching you, I live in New York, so I may be a Rams fan, but it's very easy to watch your games. So
yeah.
I do remember when you got hurt. Plus, I think I had you starting on my IDP fantasy league because you came in as this. Yeah, so you came as the starter, and then I was like, I got a big fat 0.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I got a big fat 0 though that week. And I was just like, oh no. Cause I remembered you got hurt and then you didn't come back. And I was like, oh, that's such a bummer, man. But you know what? This league is full of opportunity. And as you know, you've done a really nice job of carving out a role. You're in a position to start, which is huge in the NFL. Now with the Jets though, they're getting this coach that, he has been a pain in the butt as a Rams fan because he just had their number. Let me tell you right now, I don't have to tell the people watching how good Robert Saleh has been. So you're getting him. What are your thoughts? What are your initial thoughts on him? And have you had any, contact with him since he's been hired?
Yeah, I actually had the pleasure to meet with him before I left New Jersey in the off season. We probably had a 10, 15-minute conversation. It went really well. And I actually had met with him back at the Combine, 2 years prior. So we kind of already knew who we were, or, we were familiar with their faces. But I've heard a lot of great things about him from other coaches, other players around the league. And I was very impressed with what he had to say when I met with him. And I'm really excited for his plan on what kind of team we can be this year. I think he brings very tough and a champion-like personality to the Jets building, and I think players will feed off that. They'll feed off his energy, and every player and coach and staff personnel in that building hopes that he can be the one to help turn a new page in New York and bring winning football back.
I hear you, man. And you know what? I gotta tell you, I'm rooting for the Jets. I hope they do well. I hope you do well. I'm obviously was rooting for you individually, but you and John Franklin Myers,
Yep.
2 guys that I really respect on that team. Not saying I don't respect anybody on the team. I'm just saying you guys, I know you more. And I'm excited to see that. You have, some pieces on that defense, and then they bring in Mike LaFleur, who, was over with the 49ers. And now this offense, you're starting to see the pieces come together. You go out and get a Corey Davis, Tevin Coleman. You get some guys on that offense. You drafted Denzel Mims last year, and you have Sam Darnold. But hold on a sec. He gets traded to the Carolina Panthers. What's the first thought in your mind that comes up after you see something like that, where you're going into a season, and I'm sure you saw plenty of headlines. There's it's very uncertain whether or not Sam Darnold is going to be the starter or going to remain with the team, all that. But what is the first thought when you notice? I don't know if you get called by your agent or something like that, but what's the first thought when you notice the starting quarterback of your football team get traded?
It was something that made me a little bit disappointed, I'll be honest, just because everybody in our locker room has mad respect for Sam. He's a great guy, a great leader, and, he's a player with a lot of talent that is going to have a lot of success in the NFL. I think him being on Carolina with what they have will really help him. And, I think by me saying this, every other player would agree with me on my team that, we wish him well and we want him to have all the success he can get. Because like I said, everyone has respect for him. He's tough as nails and he has great character. And that's what you want in a quarterback. And him going into what would have been year 4, you want somebody with a lot of experience back there behind center to lead your football team. But as a player who, is going into year 3, understands the move, understands the business side of all. We just got a new head coach. We got a lot of new pieces in free agency. We got a lot of draft picks here in the next 2 years, and have a lot of cap space as well. So getting rid of Sam, trading him was allowed us to save some money. And like Joe Douglas said in his interview, I think it was 2 days ago, there's a lot of talented quarterbacks in the league. It's how the league works, but whoever we get at quarterback, I'm sure the coaches are going to do a great job at getting him prepared to help us win football games. I'm sure whoever it is not only obviously going to be very talented, but it's going to be, a great person to have in our locker room. And every player, including myself, is going to welcome him with open arms. And at the end of the day, all that matters is if we're putting up W's on our schedule.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I agree with you on all that, actually. I'm a fan of Sam's. And, I think Sam Darnold went to a really good fit with Carolina. I think having a guy like Joe Brady, having those weapons, he reunites with Robbie Anderson, like Christian McCaffrey, the defense, Matt Rule. I mean, it's a good spot. And I think it goes to show you, and I think the Jets deserve credit as an organization for sending him to a spot where he could actually compete. And
Absolutely.
I think that goes unsaid a lot of the time.
Yeah,
but
I would agree with that.
Like being a Rams fan and covering the Rams and seeing like when the Rams trade away Goff for Stafford, they're trading Goff to they're trading him to an organization that now has a general manager that was with that team since 2003. That, from all accounts, banged the table to get him, trade up and get him. Mm-hmm. So I like when franchises go the extra mile to like actually still think about the play, even though it's a business, try to put them in position to actually have a chance. I do like that. So obviously you're going to have a new quarterback this year and you have the number 2 pick. Before this, I was all for going out and getting Sewell. I felt like just getting another top-notch tackle would make a lot of sense. But have you had any opportunity to go and like look at any of these quarterbacks, like whether it be film or just like checking their highlights or watching games? Is there anybody that you've seen, or is like anybody that stands out to you?
Be honest, really all I've seen is like highlights and video clips on Twitter and Instagram, social media. I would say I've seen a lot of games that Justin Fields has played, just because me being a Big Ten alum, I watch the Big Ten a lot when I can. But like I said earlier, there's a lot of great quarterbacks, a lot of talent in this draft class. And I know there's a lot of speculation. People are saying we can book it that Zach Wilson will be our quarterback. But I'm not gonna say there's a certain quarterback I want out there, because at the end of the day, you never know how well a player is going to come into a building and perform at an NFL level. We've all seen guys that, they were quiet in college and they end up being stars in the NFL. We see guys that are, locking in first rounders, the next generation of talent, and they end up being a bust. You just never know. And the thing is, I know with this coaching staff that whoever we pick, they're going to take him in. He's going to be ready to go come Sunday or every week when we play our opponent. And like I said, all that matters is whoever is under center, they have to be a leader on this team, and they have to help us win games.
Totally agree with you. And that's the right answer there. That way you don't get dead spinned.
Exactly. That's some practice, man.
I could tell, but I was never going to, grill you or anything. I'm not trying to get you on dead spin.
Yeah, no, I got you.
So let's talk a little bit about your off season, because like you've had an opportunity to like actually take in like an off season. Like you've been through a lot. You went through injuries, and now you get a coaching change and new quarterback change. But like this is on you, because like you only have a certain amount of time to take all this time off and then go back into war. So it's
Yep.
like, how's this off season been like? And hopefully you haven't run into any of the paparazzi TMZ type people.
Thankfully, I haven't, but it's been great. I'm actually in Phoenix right now. Been training here since end of January. I love it out here. It's just a great city. It's a growing city, and the weather's been fantastic. So there's so much to do, and that's something that players look for in an off season. But on top of that, the training's been great. I've been doing a lot of things outside of just general strength and conditioning to work on ways to help prevent injuries, and also just find techniques and things to help me recover better and faster. Because like I was telling you before we hopped on live, is that last year was challenging for me just because I had some injuries that I had never dealt with before, and they're injuries that can take time to heal, and you never know how long they're going to take to heal, just because it's different with every person. But I've just been so focused on my body and making sure that what happened last year doesn't ever happen again. Obviously, with football, you're guaranteed to be banged up, injured again at some point. They say in the NFL, it's 110% likely you're going to be injured. I understand that, but doing everything I can to prepare against that is what I'm going to do. And my body feels great. Usually I'm around 233, 235 and like 11% body fat. But right now I'm 230. I'm actually down at like 6.5% body fat, but I feel like I'm moving faster and quicker than I have before. So I can't wait to go into training camp and, show the coaches and my teammates the work I've been putting in the last few months.
Man, if you're running faster, I mean, weren't you in the 4.4s for the 40 time?
Unofficially a 4.48, but officially a 4.5 flag. But I'll take
all right,
it.
so we're going 4.4. We're calling it a 4.4.
Hey,
so
that's what I tell people.
So if you're faster than that, so you'd be around like now a 4.44, maybe even a 4.3.
Maybe, I don't know. What I'm getting more, it's not more just like
no,
a
I'm
dead
messing.
40-yard spread. Yeah, like I'm talking about just like my quickness and my acceleration from being a dead stop to bang. You got to sprint as fast as you can to 15 yards made tackle. And that's football is really played in 0 to 15, 0 to 20 yards, honestly. So it feels good to be where I'm at. I'm satisfied with my work and my health, and can't wait to put it to a test.
I hear you. I love it. I mean, like I said, you're already very fast, and the film supports that going back to Minnesota days. I mean, just sheesh, just sideline to sideline. I'm like, yeah, I couldn't do that. Just no way in hell am I going to be able to stop that guy who's running a 4.4 and take a toss sweep. Like, it's not going to happen. But for you,
yeah,
it's
where the game's headed, man. You got to be able to run, right?
I hear you there. Now, because you love the 53, and now all of a sudden this number thing is rumored. You're not going to change your number on me, are you?
Nah, I don't plan to. I mean, I got the chain now too, so I gotta keep my number as long as I can.
I'm digging the chain. Definitely digging the chain. Plus, I like the 53 shirt. So you're repping.
I mess with the number. It's grown on me too over the last 2.5 years. So
it's a good number. Yeah, I definitely dig 53. And like, I mean, I don't know. There's gonna be guys wearing like number 7 at linebacker now. So I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but it's gonna be an adjustment for me.
It will be a little bit of adjustment, but I like the idea. I never really understood the whole, numbering thing in the NFL. I really never got it, but I'm glad they're getting rid of that.
Yeah, it seems kind of silly, doesn't it? It's just like, well, you can't wear that number, but it's like, I don't know. Well, except for offensive line and defensive line, they're still like stuck at theirs for whatever reason. But everyone else is very good.
That's how it should be. I can't stand in college football when I see an interior D lineman wearing number 1. First of all, it just looks on their big body. It just looks goofy, man. I can't like unsee. It bothers me so much. So I'm glad they stuck those guys with their same numbers. But for everybody else, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you and me both. It's also like a kicker wearing number 99. Like,
yeah,
like the, I don't know. It's college stuff, but kind of continuing on with like the NFL rules and everything. Now they add a 17-game season. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, we all knew it was coming. This was something we talked about last off season with our new, CDA agreement with the owners. So, that we already knew it was coming. Told this back in, I think, basically a year ago or maybe like 11 months ago. So every player, if they act surprised, they should have known about it. But I don't really necessarily know how I feel. I think I'm kind of indifferent about it. I think it's cool that guys get to play another game. It provides more opportunity and experience and film for some players. And then also, it brings in more money, which everyone likes. But, in terms of injuries and where guys' health is at towards the end of the season, especially if you're a playoff team and you got to go and play another game, like that makes a big difference. So, I think the 17 game will really affect the teams that, are locked in the playoffs or guys that, are, star players that don't need the extra experience, the extra time on the field, or don't need the extra paycheck. You know what I'm saying? So,
absolutely.
For me, where I'm at in my career, I don't mind it. Like, again, I'm indifferent, but we'll see. Maybe my opinion will change after this year, but as of now, I still don't really know how I feel about it.
Well, hey, if it happens, I'll be sure to have you on. We can talk off air so you don't get TMZ/Deadspin, and we'll be good because it'll be like Blake Cashman refuses to play 17 games. You know how it is, man.
I know. I think it's ridiculous. But
what's the craziest headline since you play in you play in New Jersey? We just said that, but you play for the New York Jets, huge market, right? What is the craziest headline you've ever seen since you started playing for the Jets?
Man, I mean, there's been so many bad ones. But honestly, I felt so bad for him. I felt like, I don't know how it happened with the mic'd up and everything, but whoever was responsible for that did him so wrong. But when Sam,
yes,
he was having a rough game. He's like, I'm seeing ghosts. I mean, the media in New York just ran with that, and I think it was like right around Halloween, I think it was just after Halloween.
Oh no!
I think the headline said like Halloween's over, but Darnold's still seeing ghosts. I'm just like, come on, man! Like, give the guy a break.
That's I actually hated that whole thing. It's like ridiculous. Darnold's had a rough go. Like they made jokes about him getting mono, if you remember.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things that go on in the media that I think in a way are disrespectful and inappropriate. The media matters obviously, and it's very important, yes. But Sam, like he's such a great dude, and like everyone's got like respect so much. Like, get off his back, give him some slack, man. Like, come on.
Yeah,
but if you're gonna be the starting quarterback in the Big Apple, that's what's gonna happen. But he handles it really well. Handles it very maturely. So you got to give him respect and credit for that.
Absolutely. And I like USC, so there's something there, But I mean, just go back and watch Darnold against Penn State in the Rose Bowl and tell me that guy can't play. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's got juice, man. He's talented. Yeah, everyone knows that he's going to, kill it in Carolina. He's going to have a long, successful career. It's too bad it can't be with us, but hey, sometimes there comes a point with every player and every team that they, end that relationship, and it's business. It's how the league works. But I'm excited for him, and I'm also excited for the opportunity of whoever is under center for us.
Hey,
and Sam can play well. We play Carolina this year at their place. Sam can play well every game, but that one. Maybe I got to throw him some money. Throw me a pick or something, man. Make me look good out there.
Yes, he's got to throw you. He's got to throw you an interception. Take it to the house, because you will. If you get that thing in stride, you're gone. No one's stopping you.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I'm not worried about that. I just need to get my hands on the ball.
Yes,
some of these quarterbacks, they're good at looking people off. They zip it in there in the small windows. It's amazing. And sometimes, I remember I was one-on-one with Jason Witten, and he's a big, strong guy, a lot of experience, but it's like he's running in syrup. Like he's not nowhere near fast as me, but I mean, he ran at me. Boom, he dropped his hip and he broke outside. I was right there, and Dak put it right on it, and like I felt like the breeze of the ball go past my fingertips, and he caught it. I'm like, how in the hell did he just complete that pass? Like my break, everything was right on point, but maybe it would have helped if my fingers were a little bit longer, I guess. But that's just the talent level in the NFL,
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about one of the greatest pass-catching tight ends of all time in Jason Witten, and who's been like when you're covering tight ends, or maybe you decided to cover a receiver one time, or I don't know, like who has been the toughest guy to go up against covering wise now that you've been in the NFL? Because I remember us asking you the question, who do you want to go up against and cover? But now you're in the NFL, you've been in the NFL for 2 years now. Who do you have the biggest challenge going up against in the NFL so far?
Honestly, for me, unfortunately, because I've been injured, I haven't had the opportunity to go against some of the best tight ends in our league. I mean, last year against Oakland, we got killed. Darren Wall, he had I think 230 yards against us and 3 touchdowns. And if I was healthy, it would have been me out there guarding the whole game, which would have been an awesome opportunity. And I would have, I'm competitive and I like the challenge, so I would have loved that. But I swear every game where we've played one of the better tight ends in the league, I've been injured, unfortunately. But in terms of players, having to guard them one-on-one, was Devin White from New England, who's known as a little scat, passing, receiving back. He's just a shifty dude, and he'll come at you, he'll dance a little with his route and give you a little shot, and he's only really making catches for 3 to 5 yards, but he's a shifty little bugger, and he's tough to guard.
Yeah, I would not want to cover those guys. I don't even know how you cover. I mean, to be honest with you, running back, or I don't even know how corners do it. I don't know how a rookie comes in the league and plays corner as a star. I don't know how you guys do it at all, to be honest with you.
A lot of practice.
Yeah, I've seen that. So now you have, New England just added 2 tight ends. I mean, what are your thoughts about that? Going out and getting Hunter Henry and Johnny Smith.
There, in my opinion, there's talent on every team, and it doesn't matter, how much hype somebody has in their name, or if they're considered like a nobody or new to the league. I think, and this is just me, it's how I've treated every team and every opponent I've played, even since I was, in middle school. You treat every team and player with the same respect. It doesn't matter how good or how bad they are, just because, anybody can have that day where they just snap, they go off and, put up numbers that no one expected. So, it's going to be, New England's always a tough team to beat. They always, play well together and, have some talented players, and they know their system so well. So, it's going to provide challenges, but, I'm excited, looking forward to it because I just want to be back on the field and stay on the field.
I hear you there, man. Before I let you go, because I mean, this has been a blast. I know you're busy, so I don't want to keep you all night. But like, what was that? If you had one, when was the like that moment that hit? Like, oh, I'm in the NFL. This like it all just hit at once. Like, wow. Like, did you have that? Because I know people that I've talked to that have played in the NFL, they always say like when they first started, they had that moment, whether it was like they got hit in the face mask or something, and were like, I'm in the NFL. That finally hit me. But like, did you have that?
I remember our first game of the season, my rookie year. We're taking on Buffalo. I believe it was a sellout crowd. And I remember like we ran out for the anthem, and like I looked on the sideline, and I just kind of was like big smile, just looking around, looking at all the fans, looking at Buffalo coming out the tunnel, and I remember I took it down. I was like, wow, like I'm really here. Like I'm suiting up, playing in my first NFL week one regular season game. Like this is crazy. And I remember saying that to some of the other rookies that are on the team, to my teammates. But I would say it really like hit me. Like you said, when I got my first start, it was week 2 against Cleveland on Monday night, because on Monday night they blow it up, They had the fireworks, the jets flying over the stadium, the crowd's going crazy. It's a night game. We were in the black uniform, so we looked tough. And I remember I ran out there, looked around, I'm like, damn, like 3 hours ago, I didn't know if I was going to be starting or not. And here I am starting on, national Monday night. Like this is the NFL right here. This is it. Like this is the game this is why we watch football. This is why we play football at our level. So I remember it hit me there. And I remember like, for it being my first start, and honestly, like not taking the first team reps all week, you could say I'm almost was a little underprepared, but I felt like I took care of my assignments, and I played well for just a rookie in his first start in the NFL. The game didn't go as we planned, but it was an amazing experience, and in that moment, I was just like, wow, I'm here.
That's awesome, and it's funny because you're bringing me back. That was I was just in LA because I had seen the Rams and Saints game, so I went out to LA, and I remember watching that from my hotel, like right before I went on the flight, and that's right because you were wearing the black uniforms. I do remember that.
Yeah,
It was week 2.
Tough, man.
Yeah, they're really good. I'm not gonna lie. The new uniforms, I dig them. The new logo, I dig it. But
Me too.
Hey, man, appreciate you. I'm gonna let you get going, and I'm gonna wrap this up here. Everyone, thank you guys so much for tuning in. But thank this guy for coming on, Blake Cashman, number 53 of the New York Jets, hopeful starting linebacker for the Jets. Be sure to follow him this year. Blake, any final words as we sign off?
Hey, we're changing the narrative in New York this year, so make sure you tune into the Jets. Take flight. Jake, thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely, Blake. We'll be in touch as always, and look forward to having you again. We'll have to check up on that, and hopefully no TMZ-ish things go on.
Of course. All right, man. Thank you. Take care.
You too.